So topic 1.1 is models. Topic 1 is basic skills. And 1.1 is models. And when you watch the video on that I posted, or I will post, it will go through some different ways to make models, okay? But we're going to focus on, coming up next week, we'll do a demonstration on developing our own model. Yes. Yeah, you can take notes on it. Yes. Sorry. So I'm just right now going to give you some data, okay? Let's say that it was a hot day, okay? And I took some water that I had and I started getting some data on it, okay? Now, if I just wrote in my lab notebook, you're not writing in your lab notebook, but actually, oh, now my clicker's working. So if I just wrote in my lab notebook, but you're writing it on your notes, say I just wrote something like this. Oops. If I wrote something like that, right? And then I came back to look at it, what would be some problems with just writing that? Maya? Yeah, we have no idea what it is, right? So it might be a good idea for me to put something like this, time, okay? And maybe even time, since start would even be better. And what would I write over, what do you think this is? Water, well, it's water on a hot day. Temperature. Okay, so now I know somewhat of what this stuff is. Julia. We don't know the units, right? Is it half a second? Is it half an hour? Is it half a day? So it's actually hours. Okay, we'll just use HRS for now, although typically we just use H when we're working with that. But now temp, what's the temperature? How do you know it's Celsius? Okay, that's one reason. Now I said I put water. Yeah. So you put pretty cold water out there, right? That's right. But it's not ice water, it's just water, okay? And if it was Fahrenheit, well, water, what does water freeze at? Okay, so this would all be frozen, so it would be a block of ice, right? So, but, so now we know that's degrees Celsius, so that gives us a little bit. But I might also want some more information on what I have there, so I would write a narrative to that. And I would put some information on there, okay? So I might write on there, let's see, like the outside temperature at the start of outside temp at start of the experiment was 13.2 degrees Celsius. At the end of the experiment, the outside temperature or outside air temperature was pretty warm, 19.3 degrees Celsius. It's a hot day, right? I think. What's 19.3 degrees Celsius? It's about, what does it come out? Well, is it 70? It should be about 40. Yeah, 70 something. 70 something. Sunny might be important. Sunny weather. Water is in a glass jar covered with, I don't know, tin foil. Okay, just some information to remember. And it's, let's say it's placed on the green roof. The green roof's out front. So that would be something that I might do. Now, if you had this data, we might be able to make a model for it, right, with it. And so what would, if you were interested in knowing or getting at a model for it, you might be interested in knowing something like trends and putting an equation to it. What would be your first step in that process? Anyone have any ideas? How about Aiden? Have any ideas? What would you do to get an equation of this data? What would be the first step? That you have data, temperature data, and you have time data. What might you do? A graph, right, good. So now, all right, so a graph, I'm going to plot time on the x and temp on the y. So I'll just label it x, y. I'll make some subdivisions here. Okay, so I got my x. X is time, y is temp, so 0, 5.2, we'll put that here. 0.5, 7.4, we'll put that there. 1, 9.3, we'll put that there. 1.5, 11.1, put that there. 2.0, 13.5. 2.5, 15.9. Did I do a good job? How's my graph? Not so good, right? Is that what you were going to say? All right, right. Because what did I Okay, first off, I labeled it XY. That's not very descriptive for us, right? So let's cut that. And we'll make it, what was our X? Time from start in hours. I put units, and you told me to put units, so that's good. And temperature, degrees Celsius, right? And then I didn't plot any of these up either because I didn't have a scale on them. So we'll just throw them away. See how it bounces? And then we can put them back on in the right place. It's fun with the smartboard. Bounce things around. You could also play games on it and stuff. Like you could make markers, you know, like this. And then you could try to throw in the things to it, you know, who gets the closest. Oh, there's a score. So this is what I do when I'm bored, which is, no. All right. Anyways. All right. So if I look at the X, or the time, my data goes from 0 to 2.5. So I have to have, all these can get up 2.5, which is basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 divisions, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 marks. So that kind of makes it tough, but so we're just going to keep it simple in this case, bless you, and make it 0, 0.5, 1. Now I could skip like the 0.5s and stuff if I wanted, because that would be clear, right, that the tick represented that. I didn't use the full extent of my graph, but I also didn't want really weird divisions. You know what I mean? So you have to sort of balance the two. If I had enough, if I had 12 of these, I could go 0.5 here, right? 1 there. So, but I only have 9, and I don't want really weird divisions, so I'm not going to do that. Now, on the top one, we go from about 5 to about 16, and that's 11. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to have to do like 2 each one, but we're not going to start at 0. Now, sometimes it makes sense to start at 0 on your graph because your data goes down pretty low or close. And at other times, you might be interested in backtracking it to that point, so you might do that. But in this case, we're just going to start at 5, and we'll go up units of 2, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, okay? So that will get all my data in on the graph. Now I can put these points in the right way. Now I have my graph with real numbers on it, and it's labeled with units and descriptions: time from start, hours, and temperature, degrees Celsius. Why isn't this bell should be ringing? So I will stop. Sorry. And when we come back, we'll put these in the right place. And remember the video to do. If you have problems over the weekend, we'll work on that. Nothing to freak out about. If you can't get the video to run or something, and you're taking notes, and you're at home and you have no options, why don't you drop me a little email, let me know that. But other than that, don't really freak out about it.